Hello everyone! So this is a different type of video I wanted to make. I've had this recorded for a while, so I've changed up some of the things since then. So if you guys like this style of video, I would be glad to make them. I like to make content that I myself watch, and this is one of those videos, and just one of those things that I could just sit and watch. As a cosmetology student, I love to continue learning new techniques, especially from videos like this where you can watch the whole process and see what they're doing. Also, excuse my nails please, because those have been on for a month. They definitely got fixed after this video because they were just a mess, but as you know, a stylist, we always put our clients first, and that's what I did. I also started off her nails by trimming her natural nails down some. She typically wears a stiletto, and keeping the natural nail short underneath keeps it from adding extra filing I have to do later after the tips are applied and stuff, and just so you don't see them underneath the extension as well, because no one wants to see their natural nails grown out under their acrylics. Also, always ask your client if they're fine trimming them down first, because some clients will start with getting tips only to eventually grow them out later with their natural nails, so just keep that in mind. Here I'm also just filing down the natural nail with a 180 to 150, I don't remember which one it was, grit on my mandrel bit. So this is one of those days where everything wanted to go wrong, starting from applying these tips. This client is a friend of mine who comes to get a full set pretty regularly. So I ran out of her size tips, of course, right? That happens to me. So I had to make do with what I had. She always gets stiletto or almond, but she wanted to try something new, so we gave her a tapered square leaning towards coffin. And here I am cutting them down to the length that she wanted, and I'm just measuring them against each other to ensure that all of them are the same length. Here I am cutting the part of the tips that curve so that they can be straight, and it reduces my filing. Also narrowing them, so again, it reduces the amount of filing I have to do. I also hate these tips because they are curved, and I think they're just an odd shape, and so it causes me to file more than I would need to otherwise. And they just, I don't know, I think they leave my nails with a weird shape, and I just got new tips and I wanted to run out of these first, and that's why I did, and I enjoy the new tips that I have so much more. And here I am just pre-filing, because if I file now while there's no product on the nail, it's less filing I have to do later. After that step, I cleanse the nail, add dehydrator and primer, but I lost that clip somehow. And now we also tried these new circle things, which are usually made of foil or plastic material so they can bend to the shape of the nail. But these felt like they were made of some like metal or something, or like really thick plastic that were just not bending. And you'll see me keep trying to bend them because I was just so confused as to why they would sell them in the first place. I have recently seen some tools to bend this kind of material so that they could be applied to the nails, but I think that's just an added cost when they could have just been made with a different material to begin with. But I digress on my frustration with these nails. Because these inserts weren't bending, I had to make the clear cap extra thick so that they wouldn't poke outside of the acrylic, which was annoying because I don't like thick nails. I don't like doing thick nails or having them. And so it was just frustrating. So because of this, we changed our original design idea, which will continue to happen all throughout this video because it's me. And she is so patient with me. So thank you, boo. I miss you. But with all of her nails, they were gonna have these circles, but I didn't want all of her nails to be this thick. So we decided on keeping these two only and the rest with the abstract line art that we'll see later on. Then I started finishing her hand and then realizing that this black is going to make my monomer cloudy, therefore making my clear nails gray and cloudy, and that just wasn't what I wanted. So I switched over to finishing the clear nails. I really like the 70s and 80s vibe of the circle inserts, only if the material was different. So I may try them again. We'll see. I might try to pre-bend them with some pliers or something. I don't know. I might play around with them. All I know is it wasn't bending with my tweezers, and so I think I need something a little stronger to bend these. I went back and continued applying the black acrylic, and I didn't clear cap this black because I knew I wasn't going to file much because of my application. It would have just added more time to the whole process. So the black was thick enough that I just didn't need it. So now I'm filing with a 180 to 120 grit, and I realized I should have just used my 80 by 80 grit instead. So that's what I ended up doing. You'll see me change that. Also, understanding grit numbers, the lower the number of the file, the rougher the file. The higher the number, the softer the file. And I pre-season my files, meaning I soften the sharp edges of it with another file so that it doesn't cut my clients. And I do all of this before my client arrives. So I save time during the service itself. I also pull out everything I'm gonna need in the order that I'm going to use it in so I can just grab it and then only have to put it away when I'm finished using it. That has saved me so much time because when you do the same thing every time and know exactly where to reach, it cuts your time down by like 5-10 minutes because I don't have to go looking for colors or products or pick stuff up multiple times or stop and pre-season my file or find a bit. Like, I don't have to do those things because it's already ready for me. Now, I make sure when I'm filing, I pull the client's skin back to protect them. Even though the edges aren't as sharp because I already pre-seasoned them, it still has the potential to cut someone. So just being mindful of the comfort of your client, because I've cut some people and it doesn't feel good for either of us because I'm sitting there like, dang, I really cut you, and you're sitting there looking at me like, dang, you really cut me, huh? Like, I should sue you. Obviously, they're not going to sue me because if they sue me, they're not going to get any money because I'm broke. Also, the most important step in my filing process is looking at it from the client's perspective, and that's what you see me doing here. It just redefines the shape from how the client sees their nails, because I promise it looks different from how you're filing to when you flip it around. You're like, oh, baby, she leaning to the left. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, it's definitely not as sharp as I thought it was because the client is seeing a different angle than we are as techs. So if you're not doing that on your client's nails, I highly recommend it. It will change your shaping game for the better. Now I'm using my medium grit sanding band that I used to prep the nail. I use it to buff and shape the nail, especially when working with those clear acrylics. I sometimes use my sanding band, but lately I've been using a medium to fine safety bit at about like 1500 RPMs, and it leaves the nail with less grooves that I have to buff out later. So anything that's easier for me, baby, I'm gonna do it. Now, this is when my cameraman Morgan, who is the other half of this channel, showed up and started terrorizing us. So you'll see the angle change and some candy drop in. So I just apologize for that because she's a nuisance and I should have never told her to come. Psych. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. For the color application, and these blacks are so small. I swear they're going to be the reason for my early onset arthritis. Unrelated, but I wish I knew what I know now, because let me tell y'all a secret. Apply a top coat before your nail art. Let me say it again because I feel like y'all didn't hear me. Or maybe I'm stupid and just didn't know this. Apply a top coat before your nail art. Just do it. It is a game changer. And it can be matte or glossy. I use matte because I have so many matte top coats for whatever reason, and I'm constantly running out of glossy. So obviously I'm going to make the financial decision to use what I have and not just keep buying the thing that I'm constantly going to use, if that makes sense. Anyways, using it before creates such an even surface for nail art. It changes the game. And also, this is the point that everything started to go wrong, because later in the video, well, actually everything started to go wrong from the jump, but later in the video you'll see us using our brain And I say our because it was a collective effort. But we'll use our brain and apply a base coat of white before actually applying these vibrant shades to black. And I use regular acrylic craft paint because they're cheaper and they dry pretty quick. The only thing is that some of the paints aren't as opaque, and that's the problem we were having with this orange and pink and yellow. So if you guys are gonna do anything on top of black, or just use a highly pigmented color, please put a base of white so you don't make the same mistake I did, because I did so many coats of these colors, like so many, like a ridiculous amount. But also, if I had put a top coat underneath, I think it would have made it apply so much easier and smoother and more even, I would say. And so all the rest of these clips are literally just me going over with more and more coats and with the white underneath, because we're geniuses. You know what I mean? I will also say, I feel like her nails, especially because she's been coming to me for so long and we've only ever done stiletto and almond, that her nails, her hands just are suited better with stiletto or almond shaped nails. And so I think doing this coffin didn't suit her hand shape as well as, other shapes. The black acrylic paint that I had was also super transparent, which was frustrating, and I am probably just gonna stick to my gel colors. I'm still working out my nail art, you know what I mean? I did that finger black, which again wasn't in the original design, as well as that pointer finger being white. That was also not in the original design, but hey, abstract is abstract, and this totally fits her personality, so she didn't even mind the changes. So now I'm just applying a regular top coat. If you guys have a good top coat that's high shine and lasts a while, recommend, because I've been trying a whole bunch of different ones. Some of them come out dull, I don't know why, or they just don't last as long on the nails. If you guys have good ones, please recommend them to me, because I feel like I'm at a loss. Here I'm just taking some alcohol to clean up the color that got in her cuticle, because again, it was just acrylic paint, and so these come off so easily with just some alcohol. Even if they've been under the UV lamp already, you can still do last minute cleanups.
Please don't sing.
No. Oh, you can take that out. Oh. Don't mind us, y'all. We're just a little goofy. Anyways, here's just some cuticle oil application to satisfy your nights. I do have my own cuticle oils for sale. They're cuticle oil pens. If you guys are interested in them, I'll be happy to sell them to you at your appointment. Or if you're interested in getting them sent to your house, we can discuss further. Message me on Instagram. But here are the finished nails. Thank you guys for watching. And like I said, this was a couple months ago, so if you want to see what I do now or specific videos, comment down below and I would love to hear your feedback. Make sure you guys follow me on IG at Selina's Touch to stay up to date with me and my clients. Bye guys.